How do you find what you really love in your life? Hello, welcome back to a new Traders Improve podcast. Well, you're probably not listening to this on a Monday, but here it is Monday afternoon, a fresh new start to the week, and I thought this is a great time for this podcast and for sharing this idea. However, it doesn't really matter when you listen to this, to be honest. It's just an interesting topic that I think will have a big impact if you are open to it. And for me personally, one of my main goals of 2019 was it to expand my horizon, to step out of my comfort zone. Once again, I did that a few years back when I quit my job, sold everything I had, and then traveled the world with a one-way ticket to a place where I've never been, to a language I don't speak. And this was one of the best things that I ever did. I felt uncomfortable. It was scary. I was scared. And I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know how to move around. And it completely changed my life and how I view the world and how I carry myself around. And now that I've settled a little bit more, I thought that this year a good challenge was to step out of my boundaries and my comfort zone in a different way. And just trying new activities, reading books that put me off, that I usually would not pick up. And one of those books that I just cannot put down now is from Neil Donald Walsh, Conversations with God. I have a very, a very tense relationship with a religion. Basically, I think it's a scam. And whenever I hear somebody talk about religion or God, I cringe and I immediately get tense. So I thought that is a great book for me to read. When a previously homeless guy writes a book, how he had a conversation with God. And to be honest, I was very skeptic, but I love this book, to be honest, and it has already changed the way I look at things. It has completely changed the way I look at the world in a few different areas. And it has answered questions, doubts in my mind that I've carried around me for the past 30 years. And it is going to change my life in a big way. I have a feeling about this. So I really recommend that, especially if you have, or if you feel that you are stuck in a rut. This is usually true for people who have a day job. You have your alarm set every day at the same time. You do the same thing every time you wake up. Maybe pull up the phone, go to the bathroom, get a coffee, pull up your phone again, drive to work, drive the same way to work, talk to the same people at work, eat the same things at lunch. Then you come home. Maybe you even have the same conversations at work. You do the same tasks at work. You go home. Maybe you engage in a hobby, the same hobby, with the same people. And then you meet your wife. You talk about the same things. You get ready for the next day where everything is repeating. And you are stuck in a rut where you run on autopilot and you don't even notice all the things around you. So there's a huge potential and huge room for improvements, I think, and a huge need also, I think, for change and for flexibility and for just changing things up. So there are so many things you can do. Maybe there is a hobby you always try to pick up. For me, I always had a lot of prejudices against yoga. I thought it was just a bunch of long-haired hippie women who don't shave and eat vegan food and complain or about the world, and it's a lot of spiritual stuff. But I went to a yoga class because I just wanted to see, well, why do I have those things? And I talked about it in the last podcast where I said that you just need to question everything, especially if you don't even know if this is the truth or where it's coming from. So I went to a yoga class, and long story short, I dropped everything else that I was doing sport-wise, and I got completely addicted to yoga. It has become my all-time favorite sport, and I could beat myself up over it, that I had prejudices about yoga for so long, and then I put it off for so long. And you can sometimes, well, you should ask Moritz or my wife when we go in a restaurant. I always order the same food. Always, always, always. And I made a constant effort to break out of the cycle and to just order new stuff. And once again, I found things that I've never had before that really taste amazing. I discovered new favorite foods. And so your whole world changes. And every time it happens, I slap myself on the forehead and tell myself, you really need to really have a more open mind and break out. And even though those are the little things and they seem like little things, the little things are the big things because, well, you got to start somewhere. And once you get into the habit of just challenging yourself or just trying new things and just going beyond your prejudices, you can apply this to many, many different areas in your life. And I'm sure you'll find many ways how you can break out of your daily or weekly routine and just try something different. And once you try something different, you will also view the world very, very differently because, well, once you are stuck in your rut, in your daily routine, as I said, you run on autopilot and then you don't notice everything around you because your mind and your consciousness is just running, as I said, on autopilot, and it's just there's no new input for it, so it doesn't really need to activate itself. And there are many people who go through this life for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, and then they hit retirement, and they have been doing the same things for 20, 30, 40 years. How crazy is that? That is not really a life that seems worth living in my eyes, obviously. This is just my opinion that I'm sharing. So I don't want to make this podcast too long because I really hope that people are listening to this and get actionable ideas. To ask yourself, what can you do? It can be as simple as just picking up a book that you don't agree with, or maybe looking for read a biography from someone you normally wouldn't read about, or watch a movie about a person that you don't read about. Maybe what I did a few years back is I started watching anime, which are Japanese cartoons, and it's amazing, and I love it again, and I found a new passion with it. So it can be little things, but just ask yourself, what is the thing that maybe you've put up, and ask yourself, where do you have prejudices? That's always a good place to start with, because those are the areas where you see the biggest shifts and where it really, really becomes obvious that you might have a prejudice, but more often than not, the prejudice is not really founded on any objective reasons, but it's maybe something that you have picked up. Maybe your family, your parents, your society told you that this is not the way to do, or this is a bad thing. And just break out of the cycle, and I'm pretty sure you would thank me for this advice, and just enjoy the process and see how many awesome new things you will discover and how it will enrich the quality of your life.